Hello there guys, welcome to another of my videos. So, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has confirmed that Paul Pogba will be staying at Manchester United this summer. And he said he will hold talks over a new contract. Now, this is what Mini Raiola had told Sky Sports Italia. Now, as it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Manchester United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. We need to get Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the football club to end the uncertainty regarding his future. Around this time last year, Paul Pogba did make an admission saying that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge, and he even publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. Now, obviously, Real Madrid were relentlessly linked with him. He was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year. There was also talks about him going back to Juventus. Paul Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus. Also to PSG, Barcelona and Inter Milan have been in for him before. So he has had a long-running transfer saga. It wasn't so long ago that Paul Pogba celebrated his 4-year anniversary at the football club. Now, as it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. He has made over 100 appearances for Man United in all competitions since he rejoined. He has so far won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Pogba did endure a very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but all our top players endured a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. Obviously, don't forget we had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger, under the Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. We let him go on a free transfer to Juventus. Now, a few weeks before last season finished, he said that Paul Pogba was close to signing a 5-year contract with Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano, who is a very reliable Italian journalist, he said that Paul Pogba is happy to stay at Manchester United. And he said that Man United will enter negotiations with his agent Mini Raiola over getting him a new contract at the football club. For the vast majority of last season, I didn't really have a perception on Pogba because don't forget he was out with that ankle injury. Pogba has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, but towards the end of last season, I thought he made a fantastic impact. Also did well in some of our Europa League games. But I think his combination with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield has been absolutely fantastic. There was stories coming out from Tuttosport not too long ago saying that Juventus are willing to offer Paulo Dybala to Man United as part of a swap deal of them re-signing Paul Pogba. Swap deals were high on the agenda because, Juventus have been in the process of trying to sacrifice a few of their players to get Pogba. Real Madrid before have tried to sacrifice a few of their players to get Paul Pogba. But I do believe now anyway that Paul Pogba wants to stay at the football club himself. But Paul Pogba is 27, 28 years of age. He has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. He really, really has. But I expect Paul Pogba to have a good season this season for Man United. So that's the breaking news on him, and Paul Pogba is not only our most expensive signing at the football club, he's also one of the highest paid players. Pogba is on like 300 grand a week, or is it just under 300 grand a week on his current contract? Mini Raiola though, at least in the last couple of years, has been in the process of trying to get his client a transfer away from Man United completed, because don't forget earlier on this year, Mini Raiola was talking with Real Madrid, he was also talking with Juventus, but we said if we would have sold Pogba, we would have wanted over £100 million because it would have been very imperative to get more than the £89 million that we paid for him. But we was very, very critical of Mini Raiola at the turn of the year. Main explanation is because Mini Raiola publicly publicly criticised Solsjaer and Manchester United. So anyway, that is the breaking news on Paul Pogba. But I'm glad, he's going to be staying, because, we're obviously going to find it hard to get a replacement of his calibre. But I think the best we've seen of Paul Pogba at Man United since he rejoined, I think he did well in that 3-month period when Solskjaer was temporary boss, and he did well towards the end of last season. Paul Pogba can, play in the number 6, he can play in the number 8, and he can play in the number 10. But I think he's more effective when he plays in number 6 or the number 8. I thought he also did well in the World Cup as well for France. So anyway, that is the breaking news on Paul Pogba. Now, I just want to talk with you a bit more about Harry Maguire. So, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got a decision to make on Harry Maguire at Manchester United. Now, Harry Maguire was in court at Greece yesterday, obviously because Harry Maguire recently got arrested for attacking police, allegedly attacking police, and 2 other men were arrested. I heard that Harry Maguire's sister had been stabbed. He did stay in the Greek cells for a couple of nights. In court, he didn't plead guilty to the charges, and he was released from police custody. Now, I heard that Harry Maguire could pay around £90,000 to avoid going to jail for 3 years. And I think Harry Maguire and his friends have racked up a bar bill of around £63,000. This is what it's recently said in the mainstream media. Is Harry Maguire now back home? I heard that he was actually back home. But yeah. So, we've got to make a decision on him. I think definitely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to take the captaincy of Harry Maguire, because I don't think he shows enough leadership in the team. I think, we need to give the captaincy to either Bruno Fernandes or Paul Pogba, because they are the ones that show fantastic leadership in the team. We did give Harry Maguire the captaincy, reflecting on Ashley Young's departure in January. Now, this season will be Harry Maguire's 2nd season at the football club. And there's aspects of his game that have definitely got to improve. Last season was obviously Harry Maguire's 1st season at the football club. And analysing it, I thought he had some good games, but he also had some bad games. Harry Maguire has scored 3 goals for the football club. He scored in our 6-0 win against Tranmere in the FA Cup. He also scored in our 2-1 win against Norwich in the FA Cup quarter-final. And he also scored in our 2-0 win against Chelsea back in February in the Premier League. We did get Harry Maguire in a deal worth £80 million last summer from Leicester. So Harry Maguire is the 2nd most expensive signing at the club, just behind Paul Pogba. And he is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. But Man United, I don't think, will sell him in this summer transfer window. So that's the breaking news on him. Now, I want to talk with you a bit more about Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So I think now we are looking to get Jadon Sancho in the summer of 2021. That's obviously next summer. Now, I think we have given up on Jadon Sancho in this summer transfer window, like I confirmed with you on my recent video that I did earlier on today. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund's valuation is around £108 million, is it? But we are not willing to meet their valuation. But like I've said before, throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. recently, you know, the personal terms and the agent fee have also proven to be an issue. Now, Sebastian Kehl, one of the Borussia Dortmund directors, he says that Sancho will be staying at Dortmund this season. He'll be staying for at least one more season. So he has obviously, you know, confirmed this. So he's basically, you know, said the exact same thing as what Borussia Dortmund's CEO said, because he said the other week that Sancho's staying at Dortmund. Michael Zorg, Borussia Dortmund's sporting director, he also said a few weeks ago that Sancho's staying at Dortmund and the decision is final. But it did recently say that Man United and Jadon Sancho had come to an agreement on a contract. Now, around 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was looking very, very imminent that we was going to be signing him, because don't forget Fabrizio Romano came out and he said that negotiations between Man United and Dortmund were at an advanced stage. And he said that Sancho agreed personal terms with Man United, and it said he was set to sign a 5-year contract with the football club worth around 250 grand a week. And then obviously after that, it said that, you know, talks have broken down due to Borussia Dortmund's valuation. Now, James Cooper, he tends to be close to United, and he said recently that, you know, Jadon Sancho and Man United this summer still a possibility, because he believes, from his perspective, that Sancho wants to come to Man United, and he says Man United don't miss out on players that they intend on signing. There's a few transfer experts that have spoken about this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, but Dortmund, you know, set the deadline. You know, they basically made it clear that we had until the 10th of August to sign Sancho, but we failed to meet that deadline. But it recently said that we'd been given the green light from Borussia Dortmund to sign Sancho, because Dortmund said if he still wants to leave, then they will not step in his way. But I've already outlined the reasons why I want Sancho at Man United, is because he's well proven in the Premier League. Not well proven in the Premier League. He's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. His runs on and off the ball are very, very good. And he's predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United are in search for a right winger. And Sancho, I think, has enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, Dortmund paid £8 million in from Man City back in 2017, so Dortmund got him for next to nothing. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Borussia Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. The main explanation why Sancho left Manchester City, because he didn't get assured any first-team opportunities. Before he was at City, he was at Watford. He began his career with Watford, and he was at Watford for several years. He was at Watford from the age of 7 to the age of 14. We already made a promise to Sancho that, you know, we was willing to offer him the number 7, because we know that he'd fulfil number 7 well, and, you know, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, but we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. I think Sancho's still got a contract with Dortmund. Is it until 2022 or is it until 2023? But obviously now we have been looking at a lot of alternatives to him, because I will make an admission, there is much cheaper solutions than Sancho. Don't forget, we've recently been looking at Douglas Costa from Juventus. We recently had a £27 million bid turned down for him. Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. Kingsley Coman, he's been one of the alternatives. Ousmane Dembele. Thiago Almeida. You know, so we have looked at quite a lot of alternatives to Jadon Sancho. Federico Chiesa, he's another one. But we have already missed out on 2 players under Solsjaer. You know, obviously we missed out on Erling Haaland in January, and we also missed out on Jude Bellingham. You know, they both went to Borussia Dortmund. You know, Dortmund have recruited some good players in recent years. Obviously, they brought Julian Brandt in, Thorgan Hazard, Emre Can. Erling Haaland, Jude Bellingham, but you know they've also let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years, and there's players that have also left them that didn't go to the Premier League. You know, Pulisic left them, Ilkwan Gundogan, Mkhitaryan, Shinji Kagawa at one point left them, Pulisic, Lewandowski, Ousmane Dembele, Matt Hummels, you know, Mkhitaryan. So yeah, Dortmund have let quite a few of their players go. So yeah, so I'm probably now going to fully disregard Sancho coming to Manchester United in this summer transfer window. Yeah. But like I've said to you, there is a lot of players on our agenda, isn't there? Man United have got to hurry up and make signings because, you know, the summer transfer window has been open now, is it 4 weeks or nearly 4 weeks, and we have not yet made any signings. And of course, Solsjaer outlined his transfer plans at the end of last season. He instructed our board to go and get his preferred targets. Solskjaer also wants Man United to spend a substantial amount in this summer transfer window. What is our transfer budget? He did actually say at the end of last season that we have got around £140 million to spend. And Solskjaer said he wants to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window. Solskjaer's desperate to make signings. You know, it is a long window though because this summer transfer window is open until October. But my element of concern is that these teams around us that are recruiting, like I've mentioned before. But, you know, so far at the football club, Solskjaer has spent just over £200 million. I think he's made around 4 permanent signings. Obviously, last summer Solskjaer brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January, bought Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. Obviously, he got Odion Ighalo on loan. We've also signed a few academy players as well. We signed Mark Joado recently. I think we've just recently signed another academy player. And we signed Nat Phillips to Stefanovic from Partizan Belgrade. He's going to officially join Man United in the summer of 2021, which is next summer, because he will remain at Partizan Belgrade on loan for this season. But Solskjaer knows in this summer transfer window that he has got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers. Now, like I've said to you before, we've been very critical of Woodward and the Glazers for several years. Main explanation is reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been for several years. We've also been criticised for overpaying for players, because we have overpaid for players, you know, 75 million for Lukaku, 89 million for Pogba, 80 million for Maguire, 50 million for Fred, 40 million pounds for Matic. So this is why. Woodward has been at the football club since 2012, and the Glazers have been with us since 2005. So Woodward's been with Man United now 8 years, and Glazers have been with us around 15 years. But this summer transfer window, Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. Now, obviously, this season starts on the 12th of September, and it's very imperative that we do have a strong start to the season. Obviously, the fixtures were announced recently. You know, we have got Crystal Palace on the opening day at home. That's a game we should be winning. We were supposed to have Burnley, but obviously it got postponed. After Palace, obviously, is it Brighton? That's another game we should be winning. Tottenham's the 3rd game. That's the first difficult one. Newcastle, I think that's a 4th game, isn't it? But within our first 7 games as well, we have got Arsenal, Chelsea and Everton, so they're also going to be tough games. But this season is going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 2nd full season at the club. And this season is the big test for him, because this season he will have bigger expectations to exceed. Our expectations this season will be to challenge for the Premier League title. And the other expectation will be to win a trophy, because, you know, we have not yet won a trophy under Solskjaer, and Solskjaer has been at the football club for around 19 and a half months now, and we haven't won a major honour for over 3 years, and that's the first time this has happened in 31 years. And we've also got to see improvements this season. I think there's still certain players that have got to improve at Man United. I think the likes of Maguire's got to improve, Lindelof's got to improve, and Wan-Bissaka. We need to see more of the attacking side of his game because he has lacked that attacking intent, but his defensive contribution's always been very, very good. Bissaka did well for the vast majority of last season. Obviously, last season was his first season at the club. I think that maybe there's aspects of Matic's game that's got to improve. You know, there's aspects of Rashford's game that's got to improve. Obviously, Rashford did okay last season, but don't forget he was out with that back injury for a few months. You know, the guy has obviously got to improve because he's been a liability in the last couple of years. So yeah, and like I said, there's aspects of our game that have got to improve. Solskjaer's decision making's also got to improve because a lot last season, Solskjaer was very tactically naive. But there again, there was some games where he showed tactical flexibility. So yeah, but like I've said to you, I have seen improvements at Man United, and I have seen an upturn in form since January because don't forget we haven't lost in the league since Burnley. So we are unbeaten in our last 14 Premier League games. We did go on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. And that was our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the temporary boss. Because when Solskjaer was the interim manager, we won our first 8 games. I think we won 8 or 9 away games on the trot. And won a total of 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. So reflecting how good we did when he was the interim manager, that gave obviously Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis in March of last year. And I think, definitely our recruitment's improved under Solskjaer. I think throughout the course of last season, he promoted the youth very, very well. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. But yeah. But I thought last season, Solskjaer did quite well. Last season was obviously his first full season at the football club. But Solskjaer did exceed most of his expectations. And you wouldn't have thought he'd have exceeded any expectations at the first part of last season because the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. But last season, we got qualification for the Champions League. And I did say, didn't I, how important Champions League was for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. We finished 3rd. And we also progressed to 3 semi-finals. We got to the Europa League semi-final, the FA Cup semi-final, and we got to the EFL Cup semi-final. But like Solskjaer said, semi-finals are not good enough. Now, I am hopeful that we can win a title under the Solskjaer era. And if we could do this, it'd obviously be our first Premier League under Solskjaer, but it would be our 21st title in total. As it stands at the moment, we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League. So we are the most successful team in Premier League history at the moment. But we have not won the Premier League since 2013. So we haven't won it since Ferguson's retirement. We did win it in Alex Ferguson's last season. But I don't know if Solskjaer's the foreseeable future for Man United. This season will tell. It is a transition period though for Man United, and to be honest with you, it has been a transition period for a while. Like I've said to you, the vast majority of this team is not Solskjaer's. Solskjaer is inheriting players even from the Jose Mourinho era. Still a few players even from the Van Gaal era, and there's matter here from the Moyes era. Still a few players even from the Alex Ferguson era. But actually, the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. So there you go. But in the last 7 years, Man United have been playing catch-up. Obviously, we've had different managers with different philosophies. The 3 managers we've sacked since Ferguson was David Moyes. He got sacked after like 8 or 9 months. Obviously, Moyes managed to bring 2 players in. That was Marion Fellaini and Juan Mata. Obviously, Louis Van Gaal, he got sacked after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. Van Gaal must have brought 16 players in or something like that. He brought the likes of Romero, Herrera, Daley Blind, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Morgan Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger. Louis Van Gaal brought a lot of players into the club. And Mourinho, You know, he got sacked after 2.5 years at Man United, but he did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at the football club. And you obviously know Mourinho recommended 11 players in, like I've already said to you. So yeah, Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era, and in the last 7 years, you know, we spent 900 odd million pounds on players. We've recruited a good 32, 33 players in since Alex Ferguson's retirement. But like I said to you, the vast majority of our success came under Ferguson. You know, Ferguson endured 20 odd years at the club, won a total of 38 major honours. That obviously included 13 Premier League titles, but Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. And I just think it's going to be hard for any manager at Man United, you know, to replicate Ferguson's legacy or to last as long as Ferguson did. But I think it's going to be hard for any manager in general to replicate Ferguson's legacy, you know. But like I've said, you know, we weren't good before Ferguson, were we? You know, obviously, you know, we weren't good under Ron Atkinson. Franco Fowl weren't good under him. You know, we got relegated under Franco Fowl in 1974. And we weren't good under Wolf McGuinness. I think Wolf McGuinness did endure around 18 months with Manchester United. You know. But like I said, you know, I want Solskjaer's managerial tenure to work out. You know, he's learnt a lot since he's come in. And obviously now he has got that managerial experience behind him because Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. So we've got to do good recruitment in this summer transfer window. Solskjaer's also got to get rid of players. He's going to get rid of players in this summer transfer window. You know, the players we're looking to get rid of is Jesse Lingard, Andres Pereira, Chris Smalling, Rojo, Phil Jones, Diego Dalot. Some United fans will say we need to get rid of Bay. You know, some United fans will say we need to get rid of Victor Lindelof. But yeah, we sell players in this summer transfer window. Obviously, you know, we will generate money and then it will help us with our rebuilding process. Probably Romero's going to be going as well. But yeah. But Solskjaer's got to do other things as well, like I said. Get Paul Pogba a new contract. You know, take the captaincy of Harry Maguire. I think he's also got to put Dean Henderson as number 1 for this season because I think Dean Henderson has now got that experience behind him. You know, because Dean Henderson just recently endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United and he was Sheffield United's player of the season. And I think it did recently say that Dean Henderson's close to signing a 4-year contract with Man United worth around 100 grand a week. So this would make him one of the highest paid goalkeepers in the world. But Solskjaer did recently say that Dean Henderson's not yet ready to become number 1 and he's looking at loaning him out again for this season. So Solskjaer's basically said he wants David De Gea to remain number 1 for at least this season. But Solskjaer was saying prior to the game against Copenhagen in the Europa League quarter-final, he said, you know, he's facing a goalkeeping dilemma and he'll find it extremely difficult to keep De Gea, Romero and Henderson all at the football club for this season. I think Luke Shaw will remain our first choice left back for this season because obviously Luke Shaw is more experienced than Brandon Williams. I think the only injuries we've now got at the moment is Tuanzebe, Phil Jones and Shaw, but obviously they're going to be back for when the season starts. But we had quite a lot of injuries throughout the course of last season. Maybe that was excusable for how poor we was at the first part of the season. This is why Solskjaer had to make a lot of rotation in the squad. But I think the fitness levels have definitely, you know, got better under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. You know, obviously on my recent video today, I obviously give you the news on, you know, the 3 Juventus players that we're interested in. So Solskjaer's eyeing a triple swoop. It says we're interested in Costa, obviously. We're interested in Aaron Ramsey. And we're also interested in Federico Bernardeschi. You know, I still think Man United have got to get a centre-half and, you know, we need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. So, yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless and I'll see you all again very, very soon.